we see comments?
Th-
No.
There.
There.
Yeah.
Hi everyone.
I'm just posting. Hi everyone. Where's the camera? The camera's here. Yes. So we are doing a Valentine's Day special, and we are gonna be talking about all your couple Q and A's for us. And I hope that you guys can hear us clearly. Hi Cha, hi Ziara, hi Mary, and yeah. So basically, we're just gonna wait for a couple of seconds to start the first question. We're gonna be introducing ourselves, and then of course the first question is how we met, the history, the short history of our relationship. Well,
Can
not short.
can
History,
everyone
some
hear
of it.
us fine? Everyone can hear us fine?
Yeah, can you guys hear us fine? Because we're using an external microphone. Maybe we should put it near here. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear us? Please comment in the live chat so that we know that you can hear us. So, hi everyone. First, we want to greet you guys a happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Yan.
Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine's Day, everyone. So, Jet is here. Jet is my boyfriend, my
Hi.
significant other, my partner in crime. And some of you guys have seen him in my Instagram stories. He's been in one or two other videos in the past. And I've gotten a lot of requests to do a how you manage finances as a couple. So we haven't done that video, so we decided to do a live instead. Okay, so I can't see you guys very well.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, and we'll write them down along the way. We'll try to answer your questions.
Yes.
As we hang out tonight. If you don't have Valentine's plans, it's fine. We'll keep you company.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So first, I think let's introduce each other. No? Okay, let's introduce ourselves. I'm gonna do a short introduction because I think majority of you guys already know me. But if you don't, I'm Charm. I'm the content creator behind Ready to Adult PH, which is the channel you are in now. And I talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and adulting in general. I'm 27 years old, and other than YouTube, which a lot of people think I'm full-time YouTuber, I run three or four other businesses that mostly revolves around dealing with startups. I have food markets, bazaars, and a branding agency. And then Jet.
Hi, I'm Jet. I'm a professional writer. I have been writing for I think around 7, almost 8 years now. I also run my own branding agency, which I opened. No, I run my own writing agency, which I opened this year, and I run the same branding agency together with Charm, which we've been in operation for almost 3 years now.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are business partners and we're in a relationship. And yeah, when did we meet?
2018.
2018. Yeah. So we met around
This
3
time.
years ago. Around
Around
this
this time.
time, 3 years ago. Maybe even, no, not exactly this time. But yeah, 3 years ago, we got together maybe like 6 months after. Yeah, 6 months after.
We met.
Yeah, after we met. And we have been together for almost 2 years and a half now. So, not too long.
More than.
Yeah, more than 2.5 years now. And we met at an organization. We can say the name, right? We met at an organization called Global Shapers Cebu. So I was already a member of that organization, and then 1 year after, Jet was nominated to join. So we're still currently members at Global Shapers, and yeah, that's how we met. And the funny thing is that prior to that, Jet barely went out, right?
Yeah, barely.
Like, what was your schedule before you joined an organization?
Usually my days were I would wake up, go to the gym, work out, and then I would only go out to a coffee shop just to work because I don't have an office as a writer anywhere with the desk is my office. So usually I go to coffee shops and then I'd spend a couple of hours there and then I'd go back home. And yeah, those were my days. And I never really went out to bars or whatever to. Sometimes I'd have dinner with my friends, but that was like really rarely, like maybe once every couple of weeks lang or something like that. But
Yeah.
I never really went out like to meet new people or whatever.
Yeah. So, do you want to explain what the organization is all about?
Yeah. Um, the Global Shapers is essentially the youth arm of the World Economic Forum. So it's a,
Civil service?
it's a, yeah. It's like it's a social civic organization, meaning we're a group of private citizens who
Volunteer.
volunteer to try to make society and the environment around us better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Global Shapers happens to be the youth arm of that. So anyone 33 years old and below can join that organization, and there are different hubs located around the world.
Yeah.
Just so happens that Charm and I met in the same hub. Again, she was an older member. I think she was already 1 year into the organization before I joined.
Yeah.
And then I was nominated to join by a friend who was already in the group, and Maan, if shout out to Maan, if she's here. And then so I joined the organization, and then the weird thing is, the first night when we all got together, I actually never noticed Charm at all, because it's a large group. There were like 20 people there, maybe 20 to 25 people there, and I had difficulty keeping up with everyone's names, so um,
Yeah.
I Charm.
So there were like 15 people who already knew each other, and then 5 new people. They're outnumbered and they wouldn't really know us. But on our second meeting, that's when
Yeah,
they like
yeah.
me.
So
That's when you had a crush on me.
after that, we had to go through an orientation process as a new member, um, and so we had to meet as a smaller group. Now it was just the new members, and then Charm just happened to be there in that meeting. Also, I think there was like 6 or 7 people
Yeah.
in that room,
Yeah.
and that's when I noticed her for the first time. I think that was maybe 2 3 weeks after we
Yeah.
had first met, and
So just to be clear, we didn't join the organization
you have to be
to
nominated.
no, we didn't join it to meet,
yeah.
our potential
Boyfriend or girlfriend.
boyfriend or girlfriend. That wasn't the intention. It just so happens that this is what I tell people when they want to meet people. It's just you have to put yourself out there. By putting yourself out there, it doesn't mean that you're gonna meet your potential husband or wife in or boyfriend or girlfriend in an organization, but just having that network, he could have like, set up a blind date for them, or in my case, before we were dating, I was already very out there. I was very extroverted. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always out because I was always meeting people for work, and also I used to go out a lot in, like, in bars or restaurants, and I was just really outgoing in general. So yeah, so let me know if you guys have problem with our connection. Are we in the 5G?
I don't know.
Wait, hold on, guys.
Oh no. I don't think you should have touched it.
Hi,
Hi.
guys, are we back? Sorry. I changed internet connection so that hopefully it will be better. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, there are. Sige. Let me know in the comments if we're back, we're good, so that we can move on to the next question. Not.
Yeah. Yeah, so long story short, what ended up happening was I messaged her one day and then just wanted to see if she wanted to have dinner. And just when she was free that night. So we decided to have dinner, and then
The rest is history.
the rest is what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically what happened. So if you guys are
You just have to slide to their DM.
no, if it doesn't have to be putting yourself out there physically. It can also be putting yourself out there in the virtual world, maybe joining communities online, again, reaching out to people online. A lot of people meet in Tinder. That's also like a lot of success story comes from there. But yeah, so obviously if you keep yourself in a shell, it's harder for you to meet other people. And but if you're looking for someone, if you're happy being alone, then by all means, that's also perfectly great. So yeah, that's how we met. And then another question that was always asked is that how we started talking about finances. So right now we're very open about our finances. 2.5 years in, and it's not very common apparently to a lot of couples to be open about their finances in general. So how did we start talking about that? Do you remember?
Yeah, so I think part of being in a relationship, there's some you end up doing more things together, right? So one thing that we really wanted to do was travel together because we both like to travel. And there was one destination in particular that we wanted to go to, which was Japan, because neither of us had been there. And so we ended up getting a good deal on a Japan flight. Like we chanced upon a Japan flight for like maybe like 3,000 round trip, 3,000 pesos round trip from Osaka to Manila, and then yeah, so that was like in December, and then our trip was scheduled for September. So we were like, ah, we have like 9 months to save for that trip, and so we were like, okay, so we thought about how we would go about paying saving up for that trip. So we were like, let's just create a couple fund, where the two of us pour equal amounts of money every month, and then we'll continually build a couple fund so that we just draw money from there whenever
You have
we
big
want to
dates.
travel,
Yeah.
or when we want to, yeah, or when we go on dates. So we share these finances na.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up opening
Joint bank
a joint
account.
bank account fairly early on in the
Yeah.
relationship. But it's still there. The bank account's still there, and we're still using it today for uh, big purchases. Like right now, we're using that bank account for uh,
Our condo.
our condo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're paying off our condo
Yeah.
from that bank account.
Yeah.
So
So we'll talk about more of our investments later on. But basically, that was our first dip into talking about our finances because we set a goal. I think we're 1.5 a week. It was one
something
five
like that.
each
Yeah,
a week,
something
so
like that.
3,000 both of us for 9 months. So I promised him, okay, with 1.5 a week, I guarantee you that we will spend out of pocket personally, other than the savings, less than maybe 10,000 pesos for our Japan trip. So during our Japan trip,
Which was 10 days long, by the
yeah,
way.
it was 10 days long. We overestimated the time we needed, but we had a lot of fun. But yeah, so through that savings, whenever we had, it paid off our Valentine's date. It paid off our Valentine's date,
Anniversary.
anniversary, and then the Japan trip. And it didn't feel painful because we already set aside gradual
Visa fees also.
oh, the visa
Visa
fees,
fees.
everything for our Japan trip. Even our like
Hotels.
even our the thing, what do you call that? Like,
Like travel accessories.
yeah, universal outlets. So we really didn't have to spend out of pocket that much anymore. Maybe just individual shopping if
Yeah.
we want, or souvenirs, stuff like that. But yeah, that was my condition. And that's how we started talking about our finances. The next big time, like the big instance that we remember, is when we started talking about buying a condo.
When she started talking about buying a condo.
Yeah. Okay, so I you guys know that, my goals after graduation were really, of course, when he came into the picture, I told him about my goal, and you were open naman about it because you wanted to live in the city.
I just wanted to rent.
Oh yeah. So he wanted to rent, and then I told him na maybe it's better if we buy. So that's kind of when our big discussion about finances. It was around 1.5 years into the relationship, And that was one of our biggest discussions because it was opposing. We were from opposing sides. It wasn't like the travel goal that we both equally wanted to go to Japan. We wanted to save up for Japan. So again, he wanted to rent, and then I wanted to buy a condo. So we weighed the pros and cons, and then we gave renting a shot. We rented for 9 months.
Which was okay
Yeah.
for the first part
Yeah, before the
before the
lockdown
pandemic
happened.
happened.
Yeah. So when the lockdown happened, we didn't really find much value in renting anymore. So that was our compromise. We both agreed and allowed to rent first with, it was like a testing phase, right? So, of course, during the lockdown, we decided it's not really worth it to rent anymore because our offices are closed. That was the main reason why we wanted to be
In the
more
city.
in the city because the place we were renting was right across our office. He doesn't have to spend for gas. He didn't have to spend for waste
Time.
time on the road driving. So after that, we decided, okay, I think since we are gonna be in lockdown for a while, let's go back to our houses. Let's buy our own condo. So we bought our condo pre-selling, so it's still not ready for occupancy. We have to wait around 2 years before that. So yeah, that's the second big discussion. Also, you wanna talk about our different opinions and how our money. So another big thing that we talked about is marriage, of course. We feel like it's very important in a relationship to go into it with similar goals. It doesn't have to be so planned out just yet, but you kind of have to see each other for the long term.
Best friend.
You have to agree that you guys want to see each other for the long term. Whether you both are open to marriage or not, 'di ba? Those have to align somehow. Things can change. One person can sway to the other's opinion about those things, but you have to discuss it. So we talked about it, and we both saw that, yeah, I can see myself with you in the future.
Oh, there's
Wow.
a question. We'll answer that question later.
Yeah.
Just keep your questions going, guys.
Yeah,
We're
we're
taking notes
taking
of them.
notes. Yeah. So yeah, that's another big discussion.
Yeah, so one big argument that we got into when we were starting to talk about marriage and how we handle our
Finances.
finances was whether we should share our money completely as a couple or whether we should maintain individual accounts once we get married. And then she was a firm believer in maintaining individual accounts, whereas I believed in sharing everything together. Because even in the relationship right now, like Charm is very, she takes a very anal
Accounting.
approach to um, uh, managing our finances. Like, okay, I spent for this one on this date, ganyan, ganyan. Like, because she really tracks her expenses and everything. And then I'm always just like, babe, can you lend me money? Or she asks me for money, I'll always just give her money, and then I won't take note of it, and then I'll forget that she borrowed money from me. Because I'm
Yeah.
that kind of guy. Na like anything that I have, I'm always just gonna give it to her
Yeah.
willingly. And but Charm is very different. Like she always takes note of those things. So when we started talking about marriage, I was always like, huh? I was always like, I just assume that everything you have, I would also have access to, and then everything that I have, you would also have access to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, Jet, when he handles his personal finance, he's more of the
Lackadaisical.
no, he's more of like, as long as I set aside money for savings and investment, I'm good. I can
Yeah.
spend whatever. But you guys know I'm the type that I have to track every single centavo. So yeah, that's kind of where we
I like
clash
that
a little
question.
bit. But yeah, and when we talked about that, we were kind of digging why we thought that way, and I think it's because Jet came. That's family's practice.
Yeah, so my mom and dad always had this system where they never had the system where mine is mine and yours is yours. It was always
They don't
us.
count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always
They don't keep
shared
count.
funds.
Yeah.
Like the entire all of the family's money was the family's money, and we
Yeah.
could just gain access to it whenever we wanted.
Yeah.
Which was simpler because I'm the only child,
Yeah.
so it was also simpler enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for me naman, I came from a broken family. Dad having separate accounts and then just pouring a centralized account for the kids. So funding the tuition, putting in allowances and stuff like that. And I think coming also from a broken family, my mindset was really I have to protect myself. Of course, I don't expect if we get married that we will separate. Nobody wants to expect that going in. But it's just the notion that I want to have my own money to spend freely, something like that. So
We have a compromise
we have a compromise.
wherein we both have a shared fund. We are in which we're already practicing now.
Yeah.
Wherein we both have a shared fund, but we also have our individual funds that we can do with
Yeah.
however we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, as a boyfriend girlfriend, the heavier, of course, everything goes on our personal accounts first, and then we put to our shared fund. But maybe when we get married, everything goes to the shared fund, and then give a little bit of allowance to each individual. So that's something that took a while for us to wrap our mind around. So it seems like so easy right now, like that was the obvious solution, but at that time we were so heavily invested in our philosophy, our views of how we should manage our money. So we had a few long discussion about that. So okay, other than that, related to that, how do we handle our arguments?
I would like to talk about this in depth. So
Okay.
I'm the type of guy who I really like to argue because I'm
You're a
I'm a
debater.
debater. So I don't like to walk away from arguments when they're unresolved. I will fight you until you agree with me or until I agree with you. And she's not like that.
Grabe naman yung fight. Parang discussion.
I will discuss anything with you until we come to some kind of compromise.
Yeah.
And she doesn't always she's okay now. But at the start she was very difficult. She would just keep quiet and then give me this face and then I would ask her what's wrong and then I would have to ask her 10 times before she would tell me what was wrong. And then we would have that fight,
Yeah.
which because she's very uncomfortable with talking about what she's thinking or how she's feeling.
Yeah.
And I've always been telling her that that's not a good way to go about the relationship because it leaves unresolved issues.
Yeah.
And she's been learning, much to her credit, to just talk about how she feels and what she thinks right at the moment,
Yeah.
right at that moment. So there are no more lingering feelings.
Yeah.
And we're doing better at that.
So it's not naman like drama, walk out all the time,
No.
chase me.
She
No.
just keeps
I
quiet.
just keep quiet. And the reason behind that is I feel like words are so powerful, right? And I don't want to say something that I will regret later on.
She has a difficulty separating her emotions, whereas I'm very good at staying calm and not getting emotional when I argue with someone. And so, yeah, sometimes I have to wait for her to let
Yeah.
her emotions
And
subside.
that's why I keep quiet because
Yeah.
I'm processing. Like,
Yeah.
why am I feeling this way? I need time to digest why I'm feeling this way so that I can verbally tell him what I'm feeling. Kasi most of the time, the first thing that comes to mind to me when I feel bad about the situation is not really the root of the problem. So, 'di ba sometimes
The little thing.
the little things is what John and quiet for and he hates. He absolutely hates that. I don't know how to resolve this because I don't know what's wrong. We've gotten much better. I've gotten much better at it, and he's been more patient with it as well. So it's a two-way street. So yeah, again, communication.
But I think our general advice for any couple out there is to always talk about things, no matter how uncomfortable or
Communicate.
how angry or how sad certain conversations may make you. It's important to have these conversations.
Yeah, and don't hold grudge. Don't.
Come to that agreement. Okay, let's move on. So it's a lot easier to move on from issues when you have those arguments.
Yeah. All right. So how about in business? So someone was also asking earlier how we draw the line between business partners and being a couple. So I'll give you time to think because I feel like one of the things is that we separate. This is very. It sounds so simple, but we separate chats for work and for personal. So we have a group chat for work, other people, and that's where we put group work chats. So I try to call him chat, but of course, in our personal group chat, where it's just the two of us, we address in our personal thread, we address each other as a couple. So sometimes I message him personally about work. He tries to correct me, go through the proper channels, make a what's that job order. I have to make job orders to request things from him, guys. Even if we're beside each other, just so we formalize it. And doing that small thing, just because we're wired to be that way, na we notice there's a line, there's a difference. We treat each other professionally when we're talking about work, and then we treat each other as a couple when we're not at work. So yeah, it's been good so far.
I
I
don't
know.
really know how to answer this question because I don't think we've had much trouble separating it at all. It was
Yeah.
fairly easy for
But
us.
I think they're curious because a lot of people say don't go into business with your significant other, with your close friends, family members like that. And yeah.
I think it works well with us because we have complementary skill sets.
Yeah.
So she's very business, financially oriented, whereas I'm very analytical, organizational, operational.
Yeah.
I think we complement each other well as a couple and as business partners. So
Yeah.
I think that's why it's been easy for us.
Yeah. So if we didn't think that we could handle it in the first place,
We wouldn't have.
we
Yeah.
wouldn't have gone into it because even Jet was in the business first and then they invited me to become a partner. We had to discuss it. Like, is it going to be okay? Is it not going to interfere with, our personal life?
With our business partners also. We
With
also
our
had to
business
talk
partners
about.
as well because
Yeah.
they might feel uncomfortable having a couple on board, diba? And yeah, thankfully we've been doing okay. And there's not much issues that we've encountered, so we don't know what other advice we can give. So yeah, so other than that, let's talk about our investments. Okay,
Do I?
so
Do I have any?
yeah, so as a couple, I know a lot of you guys also in the Instagram chat ask like, is it okay to have mutual funds or UITFs as a couple? Do you guys have a savings account? Do you guys save for the future? So let me share to you guys how that entire dynamic worked from the beginning. So from the beginning, few
Me. Because of me.
Which
Stocks.
one? Ah, yeah. So wait, from the beginning, the savings account. So
Yeah.
the savings account for the travel. I know a savings account is not really an investment, but again, it was our first
Shared.
dip in the water about like managing our finances together, and then it wasn't actually me. It was Jet who introduced me to stocks. Can you guys he barely touches our stocks right now. It's all me. So he was the first one because his friend was encouraging him to do it. And then I've been wanting to do it for a while, but of course I had other priorities. And then when I was finally ready to invest, that's also when he told me about it. So we opened an account with Cole Financial. So as you guys know, I use Cole for my online brokerage for trading stocks. So initially we put in
50,000?
50,000 for the both of us, 25, 25. The minimum was 25, but we thought putting 25 each na lang for the first deposit. That was 1 year into the relationship. 1 year and 1 month into the relationship.
Yeah, because we already had a substantial amount of funds in our shared account.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's just put that into stocks instead. Right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what we did. Yeah.
So at first, Jet was so excited with her stocks. He was checking it every day, and then he's kind of don't check it every day. I would wake up to him panicking because babe, our stocks are down. down. I was like, just chill. And I was really more of like the, I'm in this investment for the long run. I've already watched so many videos about it. I just haven't done it. But yeah, that was our very first time investing together. And then we put in more money during the lockdown. And then during the lockdown as well, we both decided to allocate a big portion of our funds to our condo. So that's our second investment. Um, yeah,
No,
so
we didn't. Oh, do we have?
what? Do you have any crypto portfolio? No, I do personally. So our dynamic for our stocks is our PSE, or that's the Philippine stocks. We share it, but I also have a separate account for my global stocks. So for that, I play with that on my own because
Hi, is everyone still here?
sorry guys, I think we've been intermittent. We have intermittent internet. I hope we're back. Okay, so I'm the same. How do you relieve the stress of always looking at stocks? Yeah, so he stopped looking at our stock portfolio and he left it up to me. Like, I'm just gonna update. I update him like quarterly. I'm like doing a quarterly report with him. So, uh, similar ng diskarte niya sa diskarte namin ni Partners Investments. Yay! So, we have people who are similar to us out there. So, yeah. We're trying to put as much money up for our condo. And that's the last investment that we put in, right? So that was just a
Aside
few
from our
minutes.
stakes in the business.
Oh yeah, that's also, of course, our investment in our business is is also an investment. That was redundant, but yeah, yeah, we have a lot of people tell us that we shouldn't have invested in such a big item early on, like the condo. The condo is in both our names. Of course, we're not married, so we have separate family names still in that. And yeah, for us, we've feel like we've discussed all the things we needed to discuss before we took this sleep. Of course, it wasn't overnight. So yeah, where do you put most money in?
It's my
Stocks,
best
real
friend,
estate,
Robbie.
stocks, real estate, or condo? Where's most of our money in right
In the
now?
condo.
In the condo.
In the
Yeah.
condo.
Definitely the condo, because we had to put a big, like, we had to put more than 10% of
Down
the
payment.
down payment because we bought it from someone else. I can discuss all about that in a separate video. But yeah, next is our stock portfolio. And then we also have individual investments in our investments and insurances.
And I think the reason why we're okay with investing most of our money in the condo is because it can serve as a potential source of income in the
Yes.
future.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
So that's actually that's actually, let's answer that next. That's actually the reason. We only plan to live there for a few years, but we really aim. I guess you guys saw my how I plan to retire by 45. How we plan to retire early, and our real estate investments is one of those reasons. So okay, someone asked, Charm, will you change your name to Luga when you get married? Um, Okay, so we've actually discussed this, and I think he's okay with my decision. I can, if I can change it to Charmaine De Leon Luga, but I might not, especially because, for example, I'm thinking ahead of myself. But if, example, my YouTube channel becomes bigger and people will know me as Charm De Leon or Reddito.ph, I would prefer to keep that. Uh, but yeah, he doesn't mind. He doesn't really care. I know a lot of guys really want their partners to change their family name, but he doesn't really care as much. And I'm so thankful for that because I don't plan to change my family name. Maybe hyphenate it. But yeah, so someone's asking, are you guys married na? No, we're not. Um, is, oh, oh no. Okay, no. So we're not yet married. We've been a couple for 2.5 years. So yeah. Okay, next let's talk about our setup living together. So we lived together kind of on and off for
When are
nine
you getting
months.
married? Marriage questions maybe later.
Okay, sige,
Yeah.
marriage questions in a bit.
In a while.
So, how was our dynamic when we lived together?
When we lived together.
Yeah. It was
Um,
on and off. I went home for a while, and of course, the lockdown and all of that.
yeah.
It was mostly his condo, but yeah.
It was pretty. Well, first of all, we shared duties and chores around the condo. So usually I cook. I'm always most of the time I'm the designated cook, which would render her the designated dishwasher.
Yeah.
But when it comes to general cleaning of the condo, we share
Yeah.
that responsibility. So sweeping, vacuuming, or mopping, whatever, we share those responsibilities. um,
Which is funny because I don't like washing the dishes. So we kind of
Neither of us like washing the dishes.
neither of us like washing the dishes.
Yeah.
So we would call dibs on who would cook.
Yeah.
He's the better and faster cook, so it's more efficient that way. That's why if you see my stories, I'm always spoiled when it comes to food. So yeah,
A lot of people also asked us what it was like to be stuck in the same room 24/7, especially during the lockdown where it was like every day you're just together without going out.
yeah,
It worked for us because she's more of a night owl, whereas I'm an early bird. So I wake up at 4 every morning because I want to get to run before I'm a runner, so I run in the morning before the sun comes up. And she's still asleep at the time. She wakes up at like 9,
9, yeah.
8 or 9. And so that gives me 4, 5 hours just to myself. That's my alone time. And then I always go to sleep around 9 or 10 at night. And then that's when she gets her alone time.
Yeah, that's usually when I film. So I used to film like at 12 midnight when I was still in the condo because he's already asleep by then and he's not really a light
Loud.
sleeper. Like
Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't wake up if I talk to the camera at this voice level. So yeah, I also had like 3 to 4 hours to myself until like I sleep at like 1 a.m. to yeah, around 1 a.m. So yeah, we
Respect
had
lang for each other's
yeah.
personal space also. Like, acknowledge that the other person needs their own time.
Yeah.
And it works out fine.
Yeah. So even if we're both awake, if we're on work mode, we're not allowed to talk to each other, especially me to him because he needs the mental space because he's a writer. It's all words.
Yeah.
He needs the mental space and the quiet. So he listens to like lo-fi music.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I try not to disturb him during those times. And also with me when I have to film, he allows to turn off the electric fan and the aircon because it's loud, so he
Yeah.
suffers in the heat for me. So it really just respecting each other's work and each other's time. So yeah, that's how our dynamic is. I was in a condo. And then also we split. I don't know if we mentioned this, but we kind of split everything 50-50. Someone was asking earlier who pays for the
Yeah.
dates.
So everything we split down the middle.
Yeah.
Rent we pay it half and half. Electricity, internet. If I pay for today's date, she pays for the next date. And then so on and so forth.
Yeah. So I think that was established early on in the relationship because I'm also uncomfortable being treated all the time. I would feel bad and
I'm more comfortable in that area.
yeah, like his love language is gifts.
Yeah.
Gift giving, gift receiving. Is that a thing? Yeah. And my love language is quality time. So yeah, I mean it helps that we know that about each other so that if we do something wrong we know how to make bawi. So yeah. And then what else? What else did you catch there? So I'll okay. So what's the what else? You guys can send in more questions.
There's a
ah.
lot now. Worst investment so far.
Okay, did you guys ever consider moving to Manila or abroad? So we're from Cebu, by the way, if you guys don't know.
Yeah. I'm always a firm believer in moving away from Cebu because I feel like there are more opportunities elsewhere. but
And
it's also easier for me because I'm a writer, so I can just work wherever.
yeah.
Whereas Charm is an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And I'm a firm believer of trying to help
Yeah.
our local scene, especially with businesses, right? That's my advocacy.
Yeah.
And with right now with Ready to Adult, I can kind of be working remotely. I can work remotely, and that's a possibility. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
right now and the next maybe 5 years, we really plan to stay in Cebu. Our family's here. Our friends are here. Well, he has friends in Manila. He lived in Manila because he went to college there, so that's why
Which is
he's
where I want my future kids to go to school also.
okay. So so he brought it up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about marriage and kids. Ang laki oh. Kailan ang kasal? I don't know if that's baliktad for you guys. Kailan ang kasal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ano ba? Yeah. So we've been talking about it. Um, we've been talking about it because we've seen a lot of people getting married during quarantine also, and we're like, yeah, we've seen a lot of people getting married during quarantine. We're like, it's much cheaper if we do it now because we don't have to invite as many people. And I don't want a big wedding. Like I've always told her that up front. At most, I want 60 people, whereas she wants like 600 people. And
No
okay, no, I'm
naman.
exaggerating.
Like
Pero
150.
yeah. But yeah, of course I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna propose because I don't want to spoil the surprise for her.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to if like we're pretty sure that we want to get married to one another. Like
They will be like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big
but
surprise to us.
I don't think you should be in a relationship if you don't picture yourself getting married or like at least staying with that person
Well,
long
unless they're
term.
like, mutually.
Yeah, like if you don't see yourself staying with that person long term, then I don't see the point in staying in that relationship with that
Yeah.
person.
But that's us, ha? I
Yeah.
know there are a lot of
Yeah.
people who
Yeah.
they have a mutual understanding that we're not gonna get married, okay?
Right,
This
right.
is just for this one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
for
so happens
us,
that we're the kind of people who are like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've been talking about that. I don't know when exactly, of course. We would still like for that part to be a bit of a surprise.
Rest assured, you will know when it happens.
Of course, yeah. So, yeah, with that also, we've already talked about kids.
Yes.
We've already talked about kids. What's the number, Jeff?
Our deal, and my best friends will know this. Our deal is always 0 to 2.
Yeah,
So if we don't have kids, it's fine. We won't force it,
yeah,
but we will try to cap it at 2
yeah.
because I think it would be financially and morally irresponsible to bring more kids into the world than you are capable of
Yeah.
paying for.
Yeah. So it's actually perfect because when we were talking about that, I'm also the type
How
that
many dogs?
I didn't want kids. Like I was okay. I kept telling my family I'm okay with not having kids. And the reason behind that is because I'm scared of raising a human being. Like
It's a lot of
it's
responsibility.
a lot of responsibility. I've seen so many people, have mental and, emotional damage because of how they were raised. And I'm so scared just to be responsible for that. But I do acknowledge the pros also of having parang business decision, but
Yeah.
it kind of is.
It
yeah.
has to be. It has
Yeah.
to be. You have to be. If you want to have kids in the future, then you need to make sure that you're able to afford them.
Yeah. So
Otherwise, don't.
yeah. So if you guys notice, we're very similar in how that we're very logical when we approach discussions.
Family planning.
Yeah, family planning and financial planning and all of that. So I hope if you guys are also like that, I guess you would also want to have that in your significant other. So it's best to really talk about these things.
Aligned goals.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah. So yeah.
Budget though for the wedding.
Yeah.
Somebody
So
asked that.
okay. So
I think
I'm-
Robbie asked that.
yeah, so he mentioned he wants a small intimate wedding, right? And I also, it's not a big wedding naman. 150, more or less 150 people. It's not big wedding. I don't like a 500 person wedding. But I'm also not the type I'm not the type of girl who dreamt about weddings. I've only started thinking about it when I met him. I didn't used to have like a Pinterest board and stuff like that. I don't really dream of like a happily ever after. I was very practical when it comes to things. So budget wise, we agreed that we're not gonna spend so much money on decorations.
Yeah, but somebody asked if we're gonna have a tinghon also.
Okay. Sige, wait. Let me discuss that after. But yeah, so two things: we don't want to spend so much money on decorations, but we want to spend money on memories and food. So
Food, definitely food.
definitely we're big foodies, so
Yeah.
food and memories.
I always judge a wedding by its food.
So yeah, food and memories is something that we want to invest in. So we notice like when in weddings, the big centerpiece and the table, when it comes to group pictures, they get taken out because it's so tall, right? We always were like, it's so
What's the point?
sayang. Yeah, you paid so much for that centerpiece and
Yeah.
they're just gonna take it out.
Yeah.
So we're hopefully not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Tinghon, if you guys are not familiar,
His charm is Chinese.
yeah, so I'm pure Chinese, and that's a tradition that we do. It's basically a Chinese engagement.
Yeah.
So a
Party. It's an
engagement party.
Yeah.
So it's very traditional, like you both walk in nakatalikod, tapos you see each other, and then you
Exchange
present
gifts.
gifts to one another, like because in Chinese we believe that there's this belief that you have to wear everything new for 40 days after the wedding. So the engagement party is where you gift each other with new things, new clothes, underwear, jewelry, everything new. It's so magastos, you guys. So
Which I must say is it's one of the parts that I'm most excited about.
but I don't want to do.
But she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I really want to receive the gifts.
That's his love language, guys. But yeah, it was mutual naman. Now we're not gonna do it.
But we'll
because-
still give each other gifts.
Yeah, but we're still
But
gonna
not
give.
the party. We
Yeah.
won't have the party.
We won't gasto no because it's doble gastos.
We'd rather put more that money towards the wedding
Yeah.
and make that wedding better than to have two parties.
Yeah. So we're not gonna have a tinghon most probably. My parents don't know that yet, so I don't know if they're gonna be okay. Cause my siblings got tinghons. Well, my sister got a tinghon.
I'm fine either way.
Yeah, he's fine either way. So it's more of like my decision. So yeah, if you guys are the type that wants to have a tinghon, by all means. Again, it's just us.
Yeah.
So much. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the budget for the wedding? Do we have a number?
I don't know.
We didn't
we
talk about
can do a breakdown once
Yeah.
it happens.
We haven't finalized anything
There might
yet.
be inflation. We don't know when the wedding will be yet. So we'll talk about it in detail.
We'll let
after.
you know once we're in the wedding planning process.
Yeah, of course you guys will be with me throughout that process. That part in my life. That's part of adulting, right? If you choose to get married, that's kind of part of adulting. So yeah. Okay, switching topics a little bit. I really like this question. It's kind of a long question. How do you avoid dragging your partner down when you don't feel your best or happy? I strive to be financially free, but I get overwhelmed and sometimes even pressured because society is so fast paced and aggressive, and sometimes I just want to enjoy life as it is. I realize those are two different questions, but yeah, how do you not drag your partner down when you're because we have our times also when we don't feel as good, right? Yeah. So how do you support each other, and how do you help each other and also not feel down as well?
I think that's an easy.
Okay.
And,
How?
it's always mindfulness. It you have to when you're in a relationship, you need to have that mindfulness wherein your own personal problems are no longer entirely your own. Because whether you like it or not, if you're getting intimate with another person, your problems are going to affect that other person as well. So you have to be mindful. Okay, if I'm going through this, it's not just me. She's also going to be going through this. So I have to see how is she going to react to this. Will she be okay? How do I have to conduct myself so she will be okay?
Yeah.
Things like that, and it's just making sure that you always stay mindful of how your current mood or how your current situation is affecting the other person. And if you do that, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so we don't naman keep it from each other, right?
No.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we don't also keep it from each other because
Openness.
yeah, your partner is there to help you in those times. I guess with some partnerships, I think this if this person is experiencing this right now, they might be in a situation where they really feel bad. They're not at a place in their life that they're happy, and they're dealing with a lot of things.
Which
and
we've
then,
both been through.
yeah, but maybe their partner is, getting a promotion, or,
Doing
doing
better.
well, diba? That's always gonna be hard. But with that, of course, we try to be genuinely happy for each other. Not just because that's the right reaction, but because we are genuinely happy for each other's success, even if we
Don't necessarily benefit from it directly.
yeah, and even if we're struggling ourselves,
Yeah.
as long as I guess you also try to help out. Like, yeah, for example, I feel down. He would try his best to help out the best way he can, but also, of course, it's up to you in some ways. No matter how much your partner helps you, if you're not willing to help yourself, then it's gonna be hard. So I know that's not everyone wants to hear that, but that's usually the case. Your external surroundings can only help you so much, but if you don't help yourself, it's really gonna be hard for you both to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. All right. So, what else did you
We're
catch?
nearing 1 hour.
Oh yeah. How many dogs will you have? Okay, that's a fun question.
0 to 2.
Also,
Yeah.
why 0? Can you?
It hurts to lose a dog.
Ah, yeah.
It hurts to lose a dog.
Yeah, he's had so many dogs.
I've lost so many dogs.
Yeah, but it's my first time having a dog. So I realized I want a dog always in the household. And he's already lost so many dogs, so he doesn't want to go through that anymore. And he has 2 senior citizen dogs right now.
I just have to start investing in a condo.
Okay. So, how much money should you have saved to start investing in a condo? Just an estimate?
It depends on your condo. The condo.
Yeah. I would say 10 to 20%. Ideally 20% if
Of
you
the price of
of
the
the
condo.
price of the condo. So for example, what's an easy figure? 3 million. 3 million, what's 20% of 3 million? 600,000. Yeah. So so for 3 million, for example, 600,000 is a good budget to have. You can always do pre-selling, which divides the 600,000 into like 2 to 4 years. But ideally, you have backup money to pay for that in case you need to, or yeah. 20% is usually the rule of thumb when you buy a property.
Robbie also asked how much of your monthly income do you put into investment?
Oh, okay. You wanna answer that first?
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So me, let's do pre-pandemic and right now, cause they're quite different. Pre-pandemic, I was saving almost 70% of my income. So
But it doesn't have to be like that for everyone.
yeah, no, definitely not. I started with like 5% a month. It just so happened that my income increased, but I tried as much as possible to have the same level of expenses. I did have lifestyle inflation, and I've experienced that, you guys know. But yeah, it was hovering between 50 to 70%. And that's really big. And I'm so glad that I did that, because when the lockdowns came, my businesses are heavily reliant on tourists. So on tourism, so my income was cut, and also 70%, almost 70% or 66%, ganon. So because I was spending below my income, below my means, during the first hard stages of the lockdown, I was break even lang. So I wasn't eating up my emergency fund, but I was also really not saving and investing a lot. So a lot of you guys commented in one of the stories I did before that you were pretty shocked that I was actually breaking even lang. 2020, actually, guys, I lost overall net I actually lost money. I mean, we've all struggled somehow in one way or another. So, but yeah, I really cut down everything. Now, I'm back to 20%, which is the bare minimum that I encourage everyone to save. 20%. I am redirecting my efforts to my YouTube channel, and because a few of my businesses closed also, two of our four branches closed actually. So yeah, I'm rebuilding, redirecting my efforts. So yeah, that's my savings rate right now.
How do I see? Other partners before. Any advice?
Did you have partners before? Any advice you learned from? Ah, okay. Okay, we haven't talked about this. You go first.
Charm is my first girlfriend, so I went into it very with a vague idea of what relationships are based on my friends' relationships, how I observed them in their relationships, and pop culture also, movies, books, whatever. I'm in my close group of friends. There are five of us. Two of them are oh no,
Married couples.
they're married couples. So I was the one who was the perpetually single guy. But I had the opportunity to observe them. Shout out to the Beshies. I think they're watching. Yeah, so I had the opportunity to observe them and their relationships, see what they were like, and I got a good idea of what kinds of relationships to avoid, and what kinds of habits to avoid, and what kinds to look out for.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So I had one serious relationship before Jet. He's my second boyfriend. I didn't have not serious relationships, but yeah, I had one relationship before him. And what was the question? Like what advice?
advice. What did you learn from past relationships?
I learned that I didn't like LDR. That's one thing that I told him early on. I don't like LDR. If we really have to, of course, I would support you. If it's for work, if it's for the betterment of our
Future.
careers and our future, it's okay. But I told him that I won't like it. So when the lockdown happened, and when LDR lockdown relationship, it was hard, but we communicated so much. I mean, like, video call every day, chat every day. So it made it way easier than I'm sure what our parents would have experienced during their time. So that's one thing I learned about myself. What other things did I learn? Oh, I also told him
Mom.
that I want your mom to like me. Because in my past relationship, the mom didn't like me. And it was for racial reasons. But yeah, my ex was Korean. So I made sure I want to woo your mom. I want Tita to like me. And I'm so glad that Tita loves me
She
right
does.
now.
Yeah. She's in the next room
Yeah.
across the hall.
Yeah. So, that was one of those were my two conditions
Yeah.
that I learned about myself. So, uh, I think that's an advice I would give. Make sure the parents like you, especially if you guys are family oriented and you want your families to accept each other, because wow, it's hard if there's harang. What do you call that?
Hadlang.
Hadlang. If there's hadlang in your relationship and it's your family and you have to choose between or whatever, yeah, that's hard. Okay. Someone said.
The ex is Opa daw.
The ex is Oppa. Okay, Sir Jet, idol ko po kayo. Okay.
Hi,
So,
Jolo. Ay, congrats on the wedding, Jolo.
Okay. My static sound. Ay,
Sorry.
nakakabali. Okay.
Maybe we keep hitting it siguro.
Yeah. Okay, sorry for that, guys.
Yeah.
I think this is because of this. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I think last few questions before we wrap this
There's feedback though.
until now.
I don't know. Is the sound okay?
We take out the mic. Alright, so, okay. I think people have been asking, your friends have been asking, I think we should bring it up. Our shopping habits or patterns are also
Check though if the audio is okay. Is the audio okay, guys?
no. I'll take it out.
Yeah, take it out.
Guys, can you hear us?
Is the audio okay?
Let me know if the audio is better this way. Thank you po.
Just some feedback.
That's your
Okay.
friend.
Yeah, it's Joel. Joel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so spending habits as a couple, we actually have very different spending habits.
I'm
Again,
very excited to talk about this.
okay, so Jet again, he likes gifts more. He likes shopping more. You guys know I'm not naman frugal. I wouldn't say I'm super frugal or what's that in Tagalog?
Kuripot.
Kuripot. I'm not naman kuripot. I'm very practical lang. So I spend I spend money on expensive things, but I make sure I use the hell out of that thing. And then him, on the other hand, he really just likes
Nice
shopping.
things. Yeah.
Nice things.
Yeah. I'm very motivated by a reward system. So I'm motivated to work harder by rewarding myself. So I don't have problem spending an impractical amount of money on something that I really like. Just as long as I know that I worked hard and fairly and well, honestly for that money, I have no problem spending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why, and I on the other hand, I'm driven by the
Long term.
idea, oh yeah, long term, the idea that I'll be financially free later on. So I'm more aggressive when it comes to saving. And with that, I think what we do as a couple, for example, our fire movement, he's more of the barista fire. Like he doesn't want to save all of his money for long term, but he wants to save enough and have the leisure to
Be
cut
comfortable.
down his workload.
Yeah.
Cut down his workload. For him, that's already more than enough time, or like it's already retired for him. Like he only has to work on his books, or like because he writes a lot of books for clients as well. So he's a writer again, guys. And then on the other hand, it's not that I will stop work completely, but I always want that safety net. So if you guys saw my how many insurances I have, that's the thing with me. I like having protection. I like having safety net because honestly, I've seen it in my parents as well that uh one of my parents is has a safety net and one doesn't really have a safety net, and I've seen the comparison on how hard it can be, especially when you retire. So I like the fact that when I retire, and what if I can't work anymore because of medical conditions, I'm gonna be okay financially. So that's why I'm more of Fat Fire and he's more of Barista Fire. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I did 2 videos on the FIRE movement. It's Financial Independence Retire Early. And we did, I explained to you guys what my plans are for retirement. So, yeah, I know like I'm 27, 29, so it's pretty early to be talking about retirement, but today is the best time.
And somebody asked a while ago how is no spend month going.
Okay, how is no spend month?
She's still been okay.
Yeah, it's halfway.
Yeah.
Today is halfway.
She hasn't spent
No, I did.
on unnecessary
Yeah.
things.
So I make sure again.
I have spent a lot on unnecessary things.
So I make sure again. Oh, but by the way, guys, with his spending, I just tell him, or he knows to make sure that he can afford. these things.
No, I always save first. When I get my money from what I work for, what I work on, I put a chunk of that into savings or investments first, and I pay off my bills, and then after that, if I have money left over, I'll buy something nice.
Yeah. So
I don't spend. I don't treat myself first and then pay everything else after.
yeah. So with my no spend month so far, I've been vlogging it. So I'll do a compilation at the end of the month. But I've accidentally spent money on parking.
Which is okay.
Yeah, which is okay. But it had, for me, I acknowledge that I had a lack of foresight. Like, there's a 15-minute free, and like, it was like, I was there for like 18 minutes. So I was like, I could have gotten it for free. But, very minor things. I also spent money for dining out yesterday because one of my appointments, my work dragged on. Like, I expected it to be done like by 5 p.m., but we finished like 6:30. So we were hungry already and we were far away from home. So I was like, it's okay to spend. I know
it's intentional. I'm
We have to
okay.
eat.
Yeah, we have to eat.
Yeah.
I was okay spending that
Yeah.
money. But I've also tried, like, it was 12 noon and I was also hungry. I wanted snacks. But, I was very near my house. I was gonna go home right away. So I held off. So, again, it's about intentional spending and not really depriving yourself. So I've been doing okay. But I've definitely spent money. So it's not naman zero.
Pursue
Um,
further studies.
okay, will you pursue further studies, like masters? Um, I've thought about it.
Same. Also.
Like, before we started dating, I've actually inquired at AIM. And I was really considering going to Manila for that. I think I was gonna do an MBA because I was so into business. But I also had a lot of my, like, mentors, like, advising me na maybe you don't need it, like, because you have to pause your career right now, diba, or like you have to fly every week or every 2 weeks, something like that, because I'm from Cebu and I can't leave my business also. So maybe at the time, that was back in 2018, I decided, okay, maybe it's not the right time for me because it also costs a lot. It also costs a lot of money. And my mentor said, with your network and experience, maybe you don't need it. But if you really want to, of course, there's value in it. So that's kind of the trade off that I was thinking about. Like, do I lose time in my current place right now? And my business was doing really well that time. We were expanding and opening. Um, but yeah, I've actually considered it, but maybe not anymore. But okay.
For the long, when I first got out of college, it was my dream to go to law school. I
And
love to
you kind
read.
of did.
I love to read, and I spend a lot of time reading. But now, I don't see. But it got to a point where I focused too much on my work, and I felt like it was just too late in the game for me to get into law school. And I didn't want the momentum of my career to get disrupted. And so yeah, but now I think maybe in the future, maybe not a master's, maybe certificate programs like seminars, those that for professionals, professional purposes, like for our careers. But yeah, that's maybe not formal schooling. Definitely not formal
Yeah.
schooling.
So again, it doesn't mean that we feel like it's too late for us, that it's too late for you,
Yeah, no,
right?
just for us
Even if you're in
personally.
your 40s, 50s, if you're gonna benefit from it, if that's your career path, then by all means. It's just where we are now, we feel like we're not anymore, but we've considered it.
Binapti daw.
Yeah. So okay, we're gonna close this off in a bit. I think, did you catch any more questions we want to answer, Papa? So we're gonna do a this
Travel. Do
this
one of these two, last two na lang?
Sige.
Or like
Which one? When we can travel again, where's the first destination?
Japan.
Yeah.
Again.
We plan to go back to Japan.
Because we didn't get to go to Tokyo. We
Yeah.
spent 10 days in Osaka,
Osaka,
and Kyoto,
Kyoto.
and Nara.
Yeah.
But we never got to go to Tokyo, so we want to go back just
We
for
love
Tokyo.
Japan
We love
also.
Japan.
It was our very first trip alone.
Yes.
Na kami lang. It's always
Yeah.
like with friends or
friends.
family.
Yeah.
Then that was our first trip alone and we loved it. Like, we really loved Japan. We really loved the culture there, especially the citizens.
No, we went to SG before we went to Japan. But we had friends
No,
there.
we had friends
But we had
there.
friends in SG.
Japan, we didn't
Yeah,
know
that's true.
anyone,
Yeah,
right? So yeah, why not SG? So
Yeah.
we have friends in Singapore. So what was the other last one?
Milk tea.
Yeah,
Favorite-
let's do okay, yeah, we
We just had milk tea the
we
other
just
day.
had milk tea. Yeah.
I had milk tea
You
the
had
other
milk
day.
tea. I
Yeah.
had a sip.
Yeah.
We do like milk tea, but he's more
Coffee. I'm a coffee guy.
and I think I would say I'm more milk. No, I don't have a preference. I like water. Because it's cheap. But yeah, if I have to choose, I go for milk tea. Okay, so to close this off, because we're 70 minutes in, we'll do this and that. Just for fun. This and that.
This or that.
This or that and that. This or that. Okay. Cat or dog?
Dog.
Dog.
Definitely a dog.
Dog also. Netflix or YouTube? YouTube.
Ooh.
I am YouTube for sure. I live in YouTube, guys.
Netflix.
Phone call or text?
No, we don't explain why.
Oh, you can.
I love movies.
Yeah.
I love movies way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can criticize movies and series more than you do
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
I'm
a
a,
higher
I consider myself an amateur film and
book.
television critic and book critic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, phone call or text?
Call. Always.
Call.
I don't
Yeah.
have the patience to
Yeah. We're both
text.
not scared of calls as well. We
Yeah.
know there's a fear of calls out
Yeah.
there, but yeah, we prefer calls. Toast or eggs?
Eggs. Protein. All the way.
I'm kind of more eggs also. I'm not a big bread or pastry eater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like bread that much. Cardio or weights?
Depends. But if I were made to choose, I would prefer cardio.
Yeah, I would prefer weights, but I do cardio
Weightlifting is
more.
painful.
Yeah,
Weightlifting is painful.
just
Yeah.
I would prefer weights just because I don't like running. I don't like cardio, but I do cardio more because I can't. You see my body, guys. Yeah, I'm so small. But yeah, Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter. Facebook is so toxic. Facebook is so, it has the worst social media people in the world.
Okay, I love Facebook because of my community there. Because of Ready to Adult group,
Yeah.
it's kind of filtered to talking about personal finance and adulting and stuff like that and investing. So I like to hang out there, but I don't like scanning my timeline. And because I don't really use Twitter as much anymore.
I like Twitter because there are no comment sections.
That's true.
So,
People has to reply to you.
Yeah, I hate comment sections.
He says comment section
Or
is
cancer.
cancer. Yeah, so ice cream cone or snow cone?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Always ice cream.
Mobile games or console games?
Console games. Why would you ever want to play on your cell phone when you can play on a big ass TV?
Yeah, I guess I played more mobile games growing up. Clash of Clans was big in my yeah, it was big in my college days. Podcast or music?
No, it says while walking.
While walking, but also like while driving, while running.
No, while driving, I like to listen to music because I needed to calm myself down. But while I'm running, I like to listen to podcasts because I like to learn while I'm running.
Yeah, so to give you guys background, he has road rage.
I have road rage
because
I hate driving.
yeah, because he is driving. Yeah. Okay, iOS or Android?
Android.
iOS.
Android.
iOS.
Always buy
iOS.
Android.
iOS, Android. We're that couple, guys.
Yeah.
We argue about that. Anyway, next. Form or function?
Function. Function.
Function.
Function.
I'm kind of both.
If something doesn't serve a purpose, it should not be there.
Yeah. I agree with that, of course, being an architect. But I also really like things to be pretty. But I will not spend too much money just for it being pretty. If that makes sense. So, both. I don't know. Sorry. That was cheating. But pop or indie? I'd go pop because I know pop songs more, I guess.
Pick a song with it. But it serves a purpose.
Go. Pop or indie?
Pop.
Are they magjowa?
Pop.
Are we magjowa?
Kinda, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Sometimes. Cake or wait, yeah, I said pop also. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Yes.
Always pie.
Apple pie.
Any pie.
Swimming or sunbathing?
Swimming.
Swimming.
I'm already too dark.
I don't like to get dark.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but I was brought up with that mentality now. Don't go out without a sunscreen, you'll get dark. You know, Chinese family. High tech or low tech?
High tech.
But you like books.
I always embrace tech. Yeah. I like reading books. I don't like
He
Kindles.
doesn't like Kindles or ebooks.
I can't do Kindles.
Yeah, so high tech, but with the exception of books.
Yeah.
And
In general,
and
though.
notebooks.
In general, high tech.
Yeah. I like low tech in the sense that I'm technologically challenged sometimes, and I like a physical calendar better and a planner better than everything digital. Like I don't know how to use like Slack or those organizing scheduling apps. Big party or small gathering?
Small gathering.
He likes small gathering. I love big parties
Small
as well,
gathering.
but
At
yeah.
most 8 people. is good.
He's an introvert. If you have to generalize, he's more of an introvert. I'm more of an extrovert. If you have to generalize, but we're both ambiverts in the sense that we can be either if we have to.
But in the case of a pandemic, small
Yeah.
gatherings, always.
Two people. Kami lang dalawa. New clothes or new phone?
New clothes. New clothes.
New phone. I would
Fashion is life, guys. You always have to dress your best.
black t-shirt, white t-shirt, brown t-shirt. You
Yeah.
guys see my videos as all t-shirts. Like, iba-iba lang kulay, pero it's not naman too obvious. Yeah, I enjoy a new phone that can help me be more productive more. Rich friend or loyal friend?
Rich friend.
You want to explain?
You always learn more from someone who's in a position of where you want to go. Like if you want to be rich, surround yourself with rich people who can teach you how
But
to
it
get.
doesn't mean naman we don't like not rich.
It doesn't. It also doesn't mean that I don't want loyal friends.
Yeah.
Syempre, I want loyal friends. Pero and it doesn't also mean that I don't like people who aren't
Yeah.
rich.
It's hard for me to choose as well, honestly. It's
Yeah.
not about being mababaw or shallow, but I do agree with Jet. I
It's a-
learn so many
Yeah.
things with my rich friends.
It doesn't even have to be like it doesn't like they don't even have to be people you like, but you
Yeah.
learn from
Okay,
them.
I get more insight from rich friends, but I like hanging out with my loyal friends more. They don't have to be rich. Next. Work hard or play hard?
Why would you ever want to play hard? Play however you like because that's the point of playing. Work hard, but play however you like.
Yeah, play hard means like,
Party hard.
Yeah, or like
Like-
travel a lot, shop a lot, parang ganun. If you-
Play the appropriate amount.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. So for me, work hard.
Work
I'm a
hard.
workaholic.
Yeah.
Ilan ba to? Ang dami. Wow, this is a
Oh,
lot.
let's
Okay,
cap
we're
it at
not.
50.
Okay, sige. Where was I? Most important in a partner, intelligent or funny?
Funny.
Intelligent.
Mm.
I'm not naman funny.
Yeah.
But you laugh at me.
She's funny because she's funny to laugh at.
Yeah. He laughs at me, not with me or with my jokes. Yeah. Sneakers or sandals? Sandals applies to guys.
Sneakers. Always sneakers. Never wear sandals.
Sandals. For
Boys never wear sandals. Never wear flip flops. Never wear sandals. Always wear shoes.
me. You do you.
Wear
Good.
shoes. If you're out
Okay.
in public, wear shoes.
Nice car or nice home?
Nice home.
Nice home.
Nice
also.
home.
We both agree that we don't want to spend a crazy amount for our car.
Number one, I don't like to drive.
Yeah.
So I don't really care so much about what
I have a
car.
Toyota Vios. That's like one of the most practical cars you can get.
I would rather get a Vespa.
It's like it's a taxi car. I don't really mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so jogging or hiking?
Jogging.
Jogging as well.
I don't like
wait,
the
no.
plants. I don't like the risk factor of hiking.
But I enjoy hiking more because
Okay.
jogging makes me cry. What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Dishes.
Dishes. Cause laundry.
Laundry washing machine is fine, but hand washing no.
Yeah, but dishwasher is not as Filipinos
Yeah.
we prefer hand washing
Yeah.
for dishes. So yeah, doing dishes is worse. We really don't like food bits as well. If you guys notice. Okay, hamburger or taco?
Hamburger.
Taco.
Taco.
Yeah, taco.
Taco.
Taco. What did I say?
Taco.
Taco. Ang taco mo. Couch or
Last
recliner?
5 na.
Yeah, sige. Couch or recliner?
Recliner.
Couch. I like a couch better. Online shopping or shopping in a store?
Shopping in a store.
Yeah, shopping in a store. Passenger or driver? Driver.
Passenger.
Perfect there. I also don't like to be a passenger because I have motion sickness. So he doesn't like driving, so usually I drive. Which is, people kind of look at us weird sometimes, no, that I drive. Do you notice that in parking lots and
No.
in payment booths?
No.
Really? I don't know. Okay, anyway, tablet or computer?
Computer.
Tablet. Because of the convenience. And because computers are very expensive. Okay. Money or free time?
Money.
Yes, money because money can buy you free time.
Yeah. Last
That's
one.
kind of cheating, but yeah. Okay, amusement park or day at the beach?
Day at the beach.
Amusement park. I really like amusement parks. Yeah. Because I think it's because beaches are more accessible to us. All right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So, yeah, that's it. We're gonna review lang the comments if there are pa-shoutout. Hi, Noel. Mas maganda po yung second hand kasi masakit yung depression. Yes, I agree. Old jet or new jet? You wanna explain that?
Yeah, so among my group of friends, there's such a thing as old jet and new jet because I used to be morbidly obese, and I used to live a very different lifestyle. I was almost 300 pounds and eating like maybe 4,000 calories a day,
Do you
and
want to draw a picture?
no. You Google me and you'll find it
Google
online.
Jet Luga Fitness
Yeah,
in Google.
you'll find that story online. But I made the shift towards a more fitter lifestyle a few years ago, and now they call me New Jet. So, malamang I prefer New Jet. But Charm wants to meet Old Jet.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't see him at that stage in
yeah,
his life.
yeah.
But yeah, if you guys just joined the live, this is more of the casual conversations na light and casual conversations. I'm gonna post this video so that you can check out where we talked about how we manage our finances, marriage,
Relationships, yeah.
kids, work relation,
Investments.
yeah, investments, and how we deal with arguments and how we deal with our investments. So yeah, you guys can watch that. Oh wait, last zodiac signs.
Libra.
Sagittarius,
Doesn't
but we
matter.
don't really we don't practice. Is that a practice? We
We don't
don't
believe.
believe in it so much. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. We are very happy to celebrate our Valentine's night with you guys. We've been live for almost an hour and a half, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Any last words?
Yeah. Thank you for supporting Charm and Ready to Adult Philippines. Please continue to support the channel. Hopefully she can do more stuff like this in the future.
This
Um,
was fun. I had fun.
yeah. Nice talking to everyone online. Thank you for staying with us, spending your Valentines with us. So yeah,
Yeah, so again, thank you so much, guys. And I'll do my outro. I know that adulting's already hard. I hope videos like this help you guys, especially when it comes to relationship and taking relationships forward. So yeah, this has been Charm again, and this has been Jet
this is
joining me.
yeah.
Yeah, for this episode. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Oh no.